April 22nd, 1994. Evander Holyfield defends the heavyweight championship of the world against the unbeaten Michael Moore. Holyfield had regained the crown 5 months earlier when he avenged his only defeat by beating Riddick Bowe. Moore enters the fight 34-0 with 30 wins by knockout. It's the heavyweight championship in Las Vegas. Next on Classic Night at the Fights.
Double M, Michael Moore, 34-0, 26-year-old #1 heavyweight contender. He will be the first southpaw that world champion Evander Holyfield has faced in 8 years. Moore was trained by Manny Stewart early in his career, went to Lou Duva and Georgie Benton, and now he is under the tutelage of one Teddy Atlas, who you see right there, the very tough and grizzled, hard-nosed New York-based trainer who many say has made a big difference with Michael Moore. And here comes the champ. 5 months removed from his victory over Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield avenges the earlier loss to Bowe. He is now 30-1, and this will be the first time in his career as a heavyweight where he is not the smaller man. Both men checked in at 214 pounds for this heavyweight title fight. We are outdoors at Caesars Palace. Joe Tessitore alongside the Iceman John Scully. Let's send it up to the ring for the official introductions with Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the site where legends are made, Caesars Palace of Las Vegas, Nevada, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the heavyweight championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the green trunks and weighing in at 214 pounds even. Fighting out of the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, he brings a perfect record of 34-0 in 30 bouts, 30 victories by knockout, and he has held 2 WBO world titles. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the #1 ranked heavyweight challenger in the world, Michael across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the red trunks with black and gold trim. He also weighed in at 214 pounds even. This 1984 Olympic bronze medalist is now a 3-time world title holder as a professional. He has a professional record of 30 victories with 22 KOs against only 1 defeat. And that only loss was turned around in this very same ring here at Caesars Palace 6 months ago, making him, once again, the heavyweight champion of the world from Atlanta, Georgia, Evander, Real Deal Holyfield.
Okay, Don. All right, Teddy. It goes right here, it's going to be all right now. We've only been through the instructions one time. This is for the championship of the world. I expect a tough, clean fight. Protect yourself at all times. Any questions from the challenger? Any questions from the champion? Let's get it on.
Michael Moore, former light heavyweight titleist 3 years ago, turned to heavyweight division, and he's been on a roll since. John Scully, many have said that Michael Moore is a puzzling character, an enigma of sorts. I know you go back a ways with him.
Michael and I actually, the first time I saw Michael Moore in person was only 8 years ago, and he was only 156 pounds. That's not that long ago. 8 years. He was a tall, slim guy. He kind of reminded me of a southpaw Tommy Hearns. And it's funny that he's fighting now for the heavyweight title. In 1987, we almost fought each other at the Ohio State Fair tournament in Columbus at 165. And he actually had to back out of the tournament because he couldn't make weight. He was about 168, 169. He couldn't lose the pounds. So, you know, he's bulked up. I mean, 7 years isn't that long of a time to go from 165 to now fighting Evander Holyfield for the heavyweight title. But it's kind of good in the sense that he's fighting Holyfield. Holyfield, at one time, not all that long ago, was only 178. So this isn't like two behemoths fighting each other. These are two former light heavies.
Both 214 pounds for this WBA and IBF heavyweight championship fight. Not the planned action for Evander Holyfield in this year of 1994. He wanted to line up a fight with Lennox Lewis, but the organization's demanding that he takes the mandatory challenge of Michael Moore. Holyfield doing some long-term planning. He told the assembled media here in Vegas earlier this week that he sees himself as heavyweight champion until 1996. When the Olympics come to his hometown in Atlanta, he'd like to retire, having defeated Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, and once again, Riddick Bowe. We'll see if he can plot that course. He needs to get by the southpaw, Michael Moore, tonight, trying to become the first southpaw heavyweight champion. Moore with a right hand that connects to the inside here.
Now Holyfield's obviously a well-schooled fighter. He's starting to move to his left now, which is the that's the common tactic against the southpaw, to move to your own left.
Stay away from that power hand with their left hand.
Get your hand off that neck, man.
He's trying to force Moore to turn to his own right, so that way he can't set his feet. Because if you stand right in front of Moore, and especially when he's a light heavyweight, and he rips off those wicked, brutal combinations. So here, you keep stepping to your right, force Michael to turn to his right. That way he can't set his feet, he can't get his full power into the shots.
Left hook comes in from Holy. And now the champ with a combination. So a little offensive spurt from the heavyweight champion to close out round number 1 here at Caesars Palace. Evander Holyfield ready for action, round number 2 against the upset-minded former light heavyweight titleist, southpaw number 1 contender Michael Moore. It was a fairly nondescript first round for Michael Moore. John Scully, what are the keys to victory for Michael Moore tonight?
Well, one thing I think, Holyfield, in the heavyweight division, there's not a lot of southpaws. And Moore is trying to become the first one to grab the title. But the way he's fighting, the way he fought the first round, his southpaw stance really didn't become a factor, I don't think. Without the jab, your style isn't going to come into play. So he's got to get his jab going to really offset Holyfield. Because if you just stand there, it doesn't matter. You could be a righty or southpaw. It wouldn't matter. It's like hitting a heavy bag. Holyfield got off some good shots, but only because Moore was just standing there allowing him to. So they both need to kind of implement their styles here to see which way the fight's going to go.
Yeah, if it's going to be an advantage being a southpaw, you have to utilize it. There he goes. Good work from that right jab from Michael Moore. Moore tries the right hook, but Holyfield quick to return fire. Now a combination from Moore, and he's a little more active in the early goings here of this second round. Good jab from Moore.
Moore has a good jab, and one thing I remember, one thing I've never forgotten, I can remember being in the amateurs, and there was a national level heavyweight from Massachusetts by the name of Gilbert Pierce, and I never forget what he told me. The first time he told me about Michael Moore, he said, Michael Moore has a crushing left hand, and he really stressed the word crushing. Now that was back at 156 and 165, and he certainly had it at light heavyweight. So that's something to look for when he gets his range. If he can start drilling those left hands in there, because from far back he always had a really good one.
30 knockouts among his 34 career wins. A perfect 34-0 is Michael Moore, so he can crack. Moore here, showing a good surge in this second round.
Now you see, he just threw 4 or 5 punches.
Oh, and Holyfield catches him with a left hook, and Moore goes down. In a second round that he was clearly winning, all of a sudden, he's on the canvas. So what a turn at the end of this second round from Evander Holyfield. And, John, that's classic Holyfield.
Well, what I was going to say was Moore's letting his punches go. Holyfield's throwing 1 punch. Moore let his hands go. Holyfield, and there it comes. Now Moore has been busy for the previous 10 or 15 seconds. He was busy. Now there he goes. He's busy. Holyfield comes back with 1 shot. He did it twice in a row, and there it goes. So his one or 2 shots, in this case, was more effective than Moore's 6 or 7. But as a rule, that's not the way to go. You know, you're not going to win fights in that manner. You've got to increase your output.
It's a good news, bad news situation for Michael Moore. The good news was that for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, he may have figured out the plan of what he should be doing, utilizing the jab, punching in combinations, and staying active and busy. But he found out real quick that the warrior comes out in Evander Holyfield.
Right, but you know, still he could use his style to offset that, because again, Holyfield caught him with the 1 good shot. Now, if Moore could spend the whole fight out punching Holyfield and not get knocked out, you know, it's going to be hard for Holyfield to win a decision. Holyfield's bread and butter has always been his ability to come back with combinations, to be busy. And, you know, traditionally, he's not just a guy to hit you 1 time and get you out of there. So I think Holyfield would be mistaken if he thinks he's just going to look for 1 shot for the rest of the fight. I think he needs to go back to being Evander and letting his hands go.
2 years ago in May of '92, Michael Moore went down in the first round against Burt Cooper. He also went down in the 3rd round, but he scored 2 knockdowns against Cooper in that WBO heavyweight fight and earned a 5th round TKO. Tonight, Moore down in round number 2, but against the best heavyweight in the land, Evander Holyfield.
What's noticeable to me, at light heavyweight, Michael was electrifying. He was exciting. Like when you couldn't take your eyes off him as a light heavyweight because you never knew what was going to happen. Here, so far, he still seems to have that kind of heavy power like he showed with Burt Cooper, but he's not the dynamo that he was as a light heavyweight. And, you know, and that just shows you the difference between the 2 weight classes. If he could implement some of that previous style, some of those laser quick punches, some of that tenacity, you know, kind of like Holyfield used to do and hasn't really done at this point in the fight, coming in with sharp combinations as opposed to heavyweights that throw 1 or 2 big shots.
Holyfield with a new trainer tonight, Don Turner, working the corner. Holyfield now with a series of straight right hands against the squared up southpaw.
Well, he doubled up and tripled up on the right hand, which is another textbook move to fight against a southpaw. Traditionally, a southpaw will be open for the right hand.
End of 3 here at Caesars Palace. Heavyweight title on the line under the lights on the Vegas Strip here at Caesars Palace. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside the Iceman, John Scully. Round number 4, Evander Holyfield in control early against Michael Moore, who's attempting to become the first southpaw heavyweight champion of the world. John, in the second round, Michael Moore was in his groove. He was dominating with the jab, working behind it with combinations. Then all of a sudden, the left hook came home for Holyfield, and he scored a knockdown. I think Holyfield has won the first 3 rounds, and he's off to a good start here in round 4. But that second round, in my eyes, not a 10-8 round, simply a 10-9 round for Holyfield, even though he scored the knockdown.
Right, and that's a big issue, I think, in boxing. A lot of people probably wonder, what if I'm a boxer and I beat my opponent pretty easily for 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and then he catches me with a quick glancing blow and drops me with 10 seconds to go when I get up? Who wins the round? I think a lot of people automatically assume the guy that scored the knockdown, but you could easily make a case for the guy that won 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the round.
Nonetheless, Holyfield seemingly ahead on the scorecard so far. Moore working a little more here in this 4th round. Had a very good-looking second round up until that knockdown. His trainer, Teddy Atlas, told him that I want you to work the jab, work off of it, back up Holyfield, or don't come back to this corner. That's what he said to him after round number 3. So Teddy Atlas starting to light a fire under Michael Moore. And at this point, it looks like it's much needed.
And I think with Holyfield, it's needed because Holyfield's fights start around the 5th round to me. That's when he kicks in. He's kind of a slow starter, and the tougher it gets, the better he gets. And I think Teddy Atlas is probably expecting that. So I think he wants Michael to kind of raise his game. Don't wait for Holyfield to raise his game. Don't let Holyfield dictate how you fight. I think he wants Michael to step his game up now and kind of pull away from Evander.
We all know what happened in the past 18 months in the career of Evander Holyfield. The first fight with Riddick Bowe, where that 10th round, perhaps one of the greatest rounds in heavyweight history. And then just 5 months ago, when Holyfield avenged his only career loss and won back the heavyweight championship against Bowe right here in Vegas. This the first defense of those titles since the Bowe fight for Holyfield.
I would like to see Evander punch and step around like he started to do in the 1st and 2nd round. He's kind of gotten away from that. And another thing, you see about the southpaw, what problems they present. Holyfield cannot get his jab pumping. He's trying to just touch him with it because he can't figure out how to get it in on the southpaw.
Good left hand to the body for Michael Moore. I thought that was a much, much better round for Michael Moore.
Keep jabbing, hitting him with the jab. Don't let him back you up. Stay off those ropes. And when he's rushing inside, slide back and hit him with combinations. All right? Give him the mouthpiece. Give him the mouthpiece, Mo.
So some good, solid instruction from Teddy Atlas that time. Stayed away from the motivational talk and just trying to give him some meat and potatoes boxing words. Round number 5. Good combination opens up this 5th round. And there's the work that Atlas wants to see with the jab from Moore. A spirited effort to open up this 5th round for the undefeated Michael Moore.
Well, that was a long, snappy jab. Something that he's going to need to keep doing. Especially because, like I say, it looks like Holyfield can't figure out how to get his jab. Because when a righty jabs at a southpaw, he generally hits the southpaw's right glove, and it kind of frustrates him.
Venerable and veteran referee Mills Lane taking control of the situation. Watch that right hand of Michael Moore. Many think it'll be the key tonight.
He stops Holyfield from jabbing quite a bit. I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or it's just because of his stance, but Holyfield can't really get his jab pumping like he would like to. He actually had a better jab against Riddick Bowe, who's a much bigger man, because Bowe's a righty and Holyfield was able to double it up. Here he can't seem to double it up.
Styles make fights. Good short left hand on the inside from Michael Moore, and now he sends Holyfield back with a series of punches.
And he did a smart thing. He went down to the body, mixed the body shots in.
Good rally here from Michael Moore.
And Holyfield looks tired right now.
He does, doesn't he, John?
It's like the wind went out of him all of a sudden. I don't think he's hurt as much as he's fatigued.
Only round number 5, not typical of Evander Holyfield.
And it's funny for him to be fatigued against a guy that was formerly a light heavyweight. You would expect Riddick Bowe to wear him down.
Just saw moments ago Evander Holyfield swipe at his left eye as Moore scores with ease. Looks like a cut has opened up on the left eye of Evander Holyfield. So a big round for Moore just got a little bigger. Opportunity exists now as Holyfield is damaged here in round number 5. Moore has momentum. Concern now in the corner of the heavyweight champion, Evander Holyfield, with a cut over his left eye. John Scully, Michael Moore had success in that 5th round.
That was by far his best round, I think. And there was a good shot. He actually turned to his right and kind of sucked Holyfield into that punch. So that was a good technical move on Michael's part.
And remember what we told you earlier, a new corner for Evander Holyfield. Lead trainer is Don Turner, who also said, I can handle the cuts. Veteran, longtime cutman Ace Murata was let go. Holyfield and Turner didn't want to fork over the $25,000. Will that now be a costly decision if Turner can't handle this cut over the left eye?
You know, and I think, when you have an NFL franchise, they pay the money to have nutritionists, and they have a guy that handles the equipment. They pay a guy good money to make sure all the pads are put away,
so that the coach can simply coach.
Of course, and for the heavyweight champion of the world and the money that he would be paying Ace is peanuts compared to what he makes. Come on, that's kind of petty, and it's stupid, really. This is the highest level. You can't get any higher in professional boxing, and you're supposed to have the best of everything. You can't have a trainer. If it's a tough fight, the trainer needs to focus. He can't worry about your cut and worry about you. That's just not realistic.
So that cut and that 5th round can act as a confidence builder for Michael Moore. Holyfield comes in with the right uppercut, but Moore from that southpaw jab of the unbeaten Michael Moore.
And he gets that jab in, and I'd love to see Michael start drilling in that as Gilbert Pierce said, that crushing left hand of his that he throws when he throws the jab, and then the left hand right behind it, like a bang-bang action. Now he's got Evander kind of bouncing, kind of trying to figure him out. I think Michael should be doubling up on the jab. The one thing he hasn't done with the jab really is double it up. He should start doubling it up and force Evander back. Evander looks kind of unsteady right now. Maybe not hurt, but uncertain of what he wants to do. I think Michael should back him up with the jab now and force him to think.
Only 4 men have gone the distance with Michael Moore, but all 4 of them have been heavyweights since he turned heavyweight 3 years ago in '91. He's coming off a 10-round decision win against Mike Evans. And that was back in December. Of course, Holyfield coming off the majority decision win over Riddick Bowe. Holyfield just does not look like himself here in these middle rounds.
Well, it's funny. He looks like he wants to box, but that's not his thing as far as get up on your toes, Cassius Clay type of bouncing around the ring. And I think Michael should be putting up the pressure, picking it up on him. Don't let Evander, whatever he's trying to do, don't let him do it.
You can see the confidence from Moore, raises his hands. Meanwhile, the concern with that cut above the left eye of Holyfield. saying just move the hands. It's come to that point where if things maintain themselves with Michael Moore, it may be just that simple. Keep doing what you're doing. Work that jab, move your hands, stay active. Let's see if he can do it.
You know, Michael gets free shots to the body there. He should dig them in there, take advantage of it.
Holyfield now opening up a little more. Haven't seen that in a few rounds.
See, that's the Evander that I expect to see. The Evander that digs down, combinations like this.
And this is the Evander that in recent years has made him one of the most popular attractions in the sport. Fans love that warrior attitude. Combination from Moore. The uppercut was just off the mark. Back to the jab now for the southpaw.
It's almost like that little bit of flurry took something out of Evander.
It seems that way. He started off strong, was very active. Now a respite.
Michael has to take advantage of this. If Evander is having a lull here, if he can't figure out what to do or he's not sure of himself, Michael should kind of pull away, I think. Pick up his output. Like, don't let Evander lull him to sleep. You know, a lot of guys do that. I think when they go in with certain opponents, they get lulled to sleep by their actions. Like Michael might be there thinking that Evander's doing this on purpose to suck him into something. But it doesn't look like that's the case. Good jab.
Nice snapping jab from Michael Moore. Will that be the key that unlocks the door to become the first southpaw heavyweight champion of the world? Holyfield with a right hand. Now on the inside. He's been cupping with that left hand behind the head of Moore often tonight. Holyfield coming forward now. Moore in the corner. A chance for Holyfield to let him go.
See, that's the Holyfield you're waiting to see.
Moore pushes him back and separates. Back at range now. Let's see if Moore goes back to the jab.
But Evander does it again. He gets a nice flurry going, and then he doesn't sustain it like he did in the Bowe fight.
Yeah, there have been 2 instances of 15-second spurts in this 7th round. But for the most part, the more consistent work done by Michael Moore. End of 7 for the heavyweight title.
Punch if he jumps in. Don't lay in front. Work off the jab and fight a full round. Michael, do not come back if you don't want me stand. Mouthpiece.
Teddy Atlas telling Michael Moore, don't come back if you don't do what I say. Round number 8. Atlas brings up a good point in terms of wanting his fighter to fight a full round because there has been inconsistencies.
It seems like when Holyfield lays back, Michael takes an opportunity to lay back as well. It's almost like, okay, you're going to rest, so I'll rest. I'll make it look like I'm coming after you, but I'm not really going to come after you. And I think, you know, if you're trying to win the title or defend it, you know, you have to dig down. And when you see a weakness in your opponent, that's when you have to pile up the points. Pile up, you know, you can hurt him in those situations. You can put mental pressure on him. See, here, Holyfield seems to know that if he wants to rest and bounce like he's doing right now, he knows that Michael won't be like a pit bull. Michael won't jump on him. And, you know, maybe Holyfield's in distress in the sense of where he's happy that Michael doesn't have that spark to him. If Michael digs down, maybe he can put severe mental pressure on as much as physical on Evander. You get the impression that if Michael all of a sudden gets a burst of energy and starts really pumping his jab and really working, that he could kind of pull away with this fight.
Yeah, especially with the form of Evander Holyfield we're seeing tonight. This is not typical of an Evander Holyfield fight. One of those fights where it's really there for the taking. You just got to go out and take it.
Maybe, you know, it could be a situation where you know, Michael's been watching video, I'm sure, of Holyfield. He's been watching his fights, and he might be saying to himself, all right, I know Evander's getting ready to come back on me. So maybe Evander's reputation, more than anything, might be holding Michael back a little bit. He doesn't want to get sucked in to deep water. That's what they say, suck him into deep water and drown him. And maybe he's afraid in a sense that that's what Evander's trying to do. I'm not so sure that's what he's trying to do, but Michael might think that.
You can see blood streaming down the side of the face of Evander Holyfield. A cut that opened up above the left eye in round number 5. By far, Michael Moore's best round of the night so far. Offensive attack that opened up that cut above the left eye. This a round that's fairly even and not exactly what trainer Teddy Atlas was looking for when he gave him the instructions before this 8th round. There's a right hand by Holyfield, and now you could almost make the argument that it's a Holyfield round.
And I think it was an even round because of what Michael's not doing.
Exactly.
You know, it just, like I say, he might be anticipating the real deal Holyfield to come back on him. And so far, Evander doesn't really show that.
End of 8. 4 to go for the title. Atlas is on the stool.
You want me to go fight?
Can you believe that move? Teddy Atlas on the stool saying, you want me to fight?
That was a little different.
What do you make of it?
Well, he knows his fighter. He knows, theoretically, you would assume he knows how to reach his fighters. So from being in the gym with Michael all these days and weeks and months, that's a ploy that he must think is going to reach Michael. We'll see in a couple minutes.
The management of Michael Moore says, you know, he doesn't have to love Teddy Atlas. He does have to listen to Teddy Atlas. That will get your attention right there.
Come on,
and maybe that's what he needs. Maybe he doesn't realize that he's not punching. Sometimes you can be in a fight, you think you're doing more. You honestly think you're doing more than you are. And maybe that might spark him and say, man, you know, if Teddy doesn't think I'm working, I must not be working.
There's been talk that it's hard to get through to Michael Moore, that he's amazingly talented, but somebody needs to channel all that and head it in the right direction. Atlas going about it in unorthodox manner tonight, but maybe, just maybe, pushing the right buttons. We will see.
Now that was odd. Now Evander just landed. He threw several punches, landed a couple good ones, and then he initiated a clinch.
Exactly. That is not, and he does it here again. That is not typical of Holyfield. And I think this is what's probably frustrating Atlas. It's something we've been seeing for many rounds, that it's there for the taking. This version of Evander Holyfield tonight is primed and set up for an upset. Can Michael Moore do enough, though, to make it happen?
The view from the corner is often so much better and clearer than it is from right in front of your opponent. And I think that's what's frustrating for Atlas, because he sees maybe a little bit of weakness in Holyfield, a little bit of lack of ability to come back quickly. Now there, Evander comes quickly. He's starting to get an offensive burst now. If he does like he has, he'll back up now.
Doesn't stay with it. Instead, it's Moore with a double jab.
Moore has to take that back, though. He just got outpointed for about 5 seconds. Significantly. He needs to come back and take that back in the eyes of the judges. Even up the round. I don't think, Michael can't do that by laying back, because Holyfield just had a good little offensive burst there. But these jabs are nice. And that's one thing that remains. Holyfield can't get his jab through. He hasn't had a significant jab at all in this fight.
Mild rally now at the end of the 9th round from Michael Moore. End of 9 for the heavyweight title. Evander Holyfield dealing with that cut left eye and a pesky southpaw opponent in front of him on a night where most ringside observers are commenting on the fact that Holyfield does not look to be 100%. Meanwhile, Teddy Atlas, the trainer of Michael Moore, told his charge before this 10th round that you have 12 minutes left. It's there for you. Holyfield's going to lose his next fight instead of this fight. This is the rest of your life. I think he realizes the opportunity that's sitting right there. Michael Moore needs to take advantage. Looked really good in the middle rounds before tailing off just a bit the last 2 rounds after a very strong start from Holyfield in the first 3 rounds. Combination from Moore, and you saw Holyfield takes a couple steps back.
There he goes with the jab left hand again. He has a very good, as they said when he was an amateur, a crushing left hand. He's got to use it with speed now. Now it's later in the fight. He's got to give Evander more to think about than just the jab.
Jab's been there for most of the night. You're absolutely right. It would serve him well if Moore came behind it. Moore tries to go to the body. Holyfield catches him with a left hook as he came forward. Back to the jab for Moore.
See, his jab is really pumping. He should double. He's done it a couple times with success. He should double that jab. Let that left hand go right behind him. If you see, Evander's walking in, and he's got his own hands by his chest. Like he's exposing his head. He doesn't seem like his reflexes, and that's what happens. He drops his hands. Michael's pumping that jab beautifully. If you can land the jab, it's a fact that all you have to do is turn your left hand over and it will land. If you can touch something with your right jab, you can touch it with your left hand.
Been touching it with ease here in this 10th round. Holyfield now. One singular burst in a round that otherwise has been dominated by the jab of Moore.
Now Holyfield started to come with that typical Evander comeback, and there he goes again. For this fight, this is the first time I've seen him where he wasn't able to sustain it for whatever reason. I'd like to see him do a good combination and then do it again. That's how he overwhelms opponents, and he just won't do it here for whatever reason.
All right, punch out. Come on, bang on that.
It's going to be a very tough fight to score. Neither fighter has separated from the other significantly, and there have been inconsistencies within rounds where one fighter looks good for a moment and then the other fighter responds. End of 10. Holyfield, the cut left eye.
The left hand after you hit him with the jab. And when you hurt him, quit looking at him. Keep working. Can you do that? Can you do that?
Moore with the demands of Teddy Atlas. Atlas has been begging him to work more, understanding the golden opportunity that is right in front of his fighter. 6 minutes away in a close heavyweight title fight that could go either way.
You know, something I just noticed at the end of the last round, Holyfield, when he comes back after the rounds, he generally has his mouthpiece halfway out trying to get air. And it's because the mouthpiece he has is huge. It's a top, it's an upper deck and a lower deck. And, you know, I think those mouthpieces are terrible. A lot of people think they're high tech and they have the hole in the middle that you can suck the air in. But you're supposed to be able to walk back to the corner and leave your mouthpiece in and still breathe. And Holyfield can't do that. After every round, he's got to spit it out halfway out of his mouth so he can breathe. And there he goes. He's holding again. I don't like the mouthpiece. I don't know if that's ever going to come up as being a factor.
Well, I think it just plays into also the general theme of overall fatigue and an Evander Holyfield that just isn't 100% tonight.
Right. But that could be a reason because he can't suck in the air. So if you can't get air, you can't breathe well, you're going to get tired. And so I've never, ever in my life liked a double mouthpiece, the top and the bottom. I've never liked that. I never could breathe well with that.
1-2 combination from Moore. I'm Joe Tessitore alongside the Iceman, John Scully. Halfway through this 11th round of what appears to be a very, very close heavyweight title fight as we are in this stretch run. Michael Moore trying to become the first southpaw to win the heavyweight championship of the world. And the stars may just align tonight for him.
We're at the end, though. We're halfway through the 11th round. There's only a round and a half to go. If you're going to take the title from such a revered champion like Holyfield, you've got to get a push going here. You have to finish strong. You can't finish weakly and expect to win.
Saw an uppercut left hook combination from Holyfield moments ago. And back to the jab for Moore. Moore has never reached the 11th round of a fight, so new, uncharted waters for him.
See, now when he doubles up the jab, he's effective. There's another good jab.
Right hook. Holyfield trying to work on the inside, but was unable to score. Now holding once again. One round to go. Which way will it go?
It's time to go to war.
Evander Holyfield and Michael Moore receiving their final instructions of the night.
Don't let him rest. Fight the whole round.
Heavyweight title on the line. 12th and final round. You heard Teddy Atlas tell Michael Moore, fight the whole round. Before that, he told him, you think you're doing your best. I'm telling you, you're not doing your best. You need to do more. Can he come up with more here in these final 3 minutes? That was a really sharp left hand to open up the 12th round.
And he's throwing punches with conviction here. He's trying to win. There's
how
another
about
good
that?
It looks good at the beginning of this round. His jab is so effective. And when he dug to the body there, he dug good Holyfield type of body punches.
Third time already in these opening moments that he has snapped back the head of Evander Holyfield, and now working to the body and staying more consistent, letting the hands go. That's exactly what Atlas wants to see.
Holyfield throws one punch at a time. You're not going to win the round or defend a belt doing that on a consistent basis. You have to put your punches together. If Michael stays off the ropes and keeps doing what he's doing, he can win this round going away.
Well, it looked great in the opening minute. Now he comes off the ropes.
He's got to get back out to the center of the ring. His reflexes are better.
Holyfield misses with the right hand. Good jab from Moore again. The blood still streaming down the face of Evander Holyfield. That cut opened up in the 5th round. Don't know how much that plays a factor with the judges ringside. So many of these rounds have been close. Holyfield now charging in. Almost a sense of urgency with the heavyweight champion at this point. Lets loose with a left-right combination. Moore back to the jab. Gets away from the wide punches of Holyfield.
Michael's got to get off the ropes. He's got to get out in the center where his punches look good when he land like that. Like when he throws that jab left hand, he looks effective. It's obvious to everyone in the crowd. So he's got to get out in the center where he can look better. He doesn't look good against the ropes. Even if he lands good off the ropes, he doesn't look good on the ropes.
This 12th round could determine it. That's how close this fight could be on these scorecards, and Michael Moore took the first 2 minutes of it. See if Holyfield can come up with something in these final 40 seconds. There's a left hand that comes in from Holyfield. He's got Moore in the corner right where he wants him. He has to let loose.
That's the thing. He's gotten him in position several times. He just can't seem to find Michael. Michael keeps his hands up pretty good, and he's got that good jab.
There's that jab. Double
nice.
Jab. Best connection of the round so far, and it was right on the blood-smeared left side of the face of the heavyweight champion.
Michael looks very good now. Very good.
Best round Michael Moore has had since the 5th round when he backed up Holyfield and opened up that cut above the left eye. Michael Moore finished his stronger. Atlas told him, you're not doing enough. You need to do more. He just did more in those final 3 minutes. Could we have the upset? Could we have the first ever Southpaw heavyweight champion. John Scully, do you think he did enough?
I think Michael landed the much better punches. Overall, if you say who landed the better shots, Michael landed the better shots. His jab was a big factor. I think he could have edged it.
Keep in mind, in the second round, Evander Holyfield had the two-punch combination, the left hook that scored the lone knockdown of this fight. But was it enough? How did the judges see it? I don't even think it should have been a 10-8 round. But you never know how this fight was viewed ringside. It was very close. Let's find out with the official scores with Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Caesar's Palace, we go to the scorecards. Dalby Shirley scores the bout 114 to 114. He has it even. Chuck Jampa scores the bout 116 to 112. And Jerry Roth scores it 115 to 114 for the winner by majority decision and new heavyweight champion of the world, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore has done it. The first Southpaw heavyweight champion of the world. 5 months after Evander Holyfield wins a majority decision over Riddick Bowe, he loses one here in Vegas tonight. What an upset. Michael Moore, 35-0, hands Evander Holyfield only the second loss of his career. For John Scully, I'm Joe Tessitore. Thanks for being with us.